You look like you're wearing lipstick, you said?
And I'm only wearing lip gloss. I don't understand it. It's pink lip gloss.
Well, unfortunately, your screen is so pixelated, I can't actually tell.
Really?
Really.
Well, that's good.
That's good.
GameFront!
Update!
GameFront!
Update! You mixed it up. I'm supposed to do the and you're supposed
You told
to do
me
the
to get it. You
I
told
guess
me to
so.
get it started, and any opportunity I have to hear you go, it's just, I'm not going to miss that opportunity, Mitch.
Alright, I can't fault you for that. So, hey guys, GameFront update time. Let me get into my mode here and start switching the camera angles. God damn, I'm sorry guys, my apartment is just so sad. I have one lone poster of One Piece on the wall. I have boxes and shit just lying around. I need to. Hey, what you doing?
Are you looking at me?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I thought you were telling everybody about your apartment.
Uh-huh. I was, and then I noticed you were eating a corn dog. And
No,
I was
no,
like,
no, no,
Are you
no,
eating
no.
a corn dog while I'm emotionally pouring out my guts about
That's
my crappy
unprofessional.
apartment? It is.
Eating lunch is for lunch breaks. This is obviously
It's 4
not lunch
o'clock.
break.
Why are you eating lunch?
I'm sorry, Mitch. I got a problem. I got a problem. I love trash in my mouth. And working from home now, I believe it or not, I have to put a fisheye lens and convert it just so I look like I'm normal.
Right.
Otherwise, I'm like a blob.
So I guess one of the things I wanted to talk about in this GameFront update, it's a new console season, James. New consoles are coming out tomorrow, actually.
Can we really call it a season?
Yeah, I mean, why not? Why not?
Because seasons are seasonal. This is once in like maybe 5 in a lifetime, maybe 10. We don't know. There haven't been consoles your whole life. I mean, I'm just saying that we probably won't have another console for like 5 or 6 years.
All right, fair enough. I like calling it a season, but what so you call it a generation then? A generation?
I'd say we are ushering in a new generation of video games.
All right, makes sense.
Oh, what's that behind you, Mitch?
What's what behind me?
That thing. Change the camera to you real quick.
Uh-huh. You ate something again.
Mm-mm.
Yes, you did. You got me to switch the camera just so you can shove something in your mouth.
Not true.
So let's get on with the update here and end this nonsense, this tomfoolery. I wanted to talk about some of our memories of this previous console season, generation, not season.
I mean, you got to be honest. It's not a season.
It's not a season. You're right.
Thank you.
You're
I
right.
mean, don't make me have to argue a point like that.
No.
That's a given. So,
and
what do you think your favorite game of this generation
man, you know what?
was?
I know I set that prompt. I told James the prompt of what we were going to talk about literally 5 minutes ago, and I honestly didn't even have an answer. So let me mull over it for a second. My favorite game of this console generation.
Mine's easy, Mitch. Do you want me to start?
I can already tell what yours is. It's Fallout 3.
No, that's a pretty good one, though. I mean, it's on the list.
Oh,
it's on the list.
Dark Souls then.
No.
No?
No.
I think you just offended people by not saying it's by
I
saying
mean,
it's
that's
not Dark
pretty
Souls.
good. It's pretty good. I would say that's my second favorite game.
Dark Souls?
Yeah.
Is it Skyrim?
No! It's like 4. Mitch, it's Pain. It's Pain. It's the best game of this generation video games. I'm telling you, hands down, maybe best game ever.
So Dark Souls is your number 2?
Yeah, and
so
it's a
let's
close
just say
number
Dark
2.
Souls is number 1.
Mm-mm.
If you don't know what Pain is, you can find out by watching our GameFront Gauntlet video.
Then you know Pain. When you
Yes.
watch our GameFront Gauntlets, you know Pain.
In so many ways, you will know what Pain is. So what specifically about Pain makes it your favorite game of the console generations?
In all honesty, I had a lot of fun playing it. But here's what it is it's not just Pain, but what Pain represents to me. It's the PSN. It's the little mini games that you can get online. You download them. They're small. They're simple. They're so much fun. And you can chase leaderboard stats. And it's like, and anybody can play the game I think that was my favorite thing about this current generation was the ability to get. You don't have to spend like $60 to buy the newest AAA title. All of a sudden, you have all these games for like $9 and provide hours and hours of fun.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm actually glad that you mentioned that. I don't believe you that that's really your favorite game of this generation.
Well, I don't know. It's hard. I mean, there's
I think
a lot
you're
of
lying
things.
to yourself.
No, I mean, I love that game, Mitch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But I am glad you mentioned it because it gave me it sparked me towards one of my favorite games of this generation, and I can't really pick a single game, but I'm gonna give you three.
What?
I'm gonna give you three, and then maybe over the course of just talking about them, maybe I'll decide which one is actually my favorite.
Okay.
But let's go with Dark Souls. Obviously, it's one of them. And I don't know if we've even told this story, James, but when we first got the call, let's say, from Mark saying, "Hey, you guys need to cover Dark Souls," none of us, me, you, or Zach, really wanted to cover Dark Souls.
Not particularly. I had never heard of it.
Right.
I had heard of Demon Souls, and I remember people telling me that game is so terrible because no one's ever beaten it. Ever.
Right. So you didn't want to play Dark Souls because of what people said about Demon Souls, right?
Yeah, I heard that it was just a treacherously difficult game. Mm-hmm. And it was, but I had no idea how much fun treachery could be.
Yeah. I think was Zach even a part of the team at this point?
I think he was, but I think he had just started, and I think he had done like Dungeon Siege or something was one of the games he had done, and probably it was like, oh, is this another Dungeon Siege? Because I never played Dungeon Siege.
Yeah.
And it's nothing like it if you ask me. But it's a long game. Like Dark Souls, when we were finding out about it, we knew it was going to be an upwards of 50-hour game.
Right. And then we have me, who had played a little bit of Demon Souls prior to this. Now, I've only played, Boletarian Palace World 1-1. I think I beat the Phalanx boss, and that was it. Which is
farther than a lot of people made it in Demon Souls.
Right. And I didn't want to play Dark Souls because I knew it had mimics.
No. Did you know it had mimics?
I did. I saw some GIFs of it. And so that was pretty much the reason why I didn't want to play Dark Souls. But eventually I ended up playing it, and I gotta tell you, the road to me enjoying Dark Souls was a very long and very rocky road. There were times when I was at work and I was stuck on a part and I was just miserable. I wanted to scream. I wanted to.
I think it was the first I'd ever heard you curse, because you didn't used to swear a lot, and then after that, I think you kind of dropped your guard a little bit.
Yeah, I think that was probably the first time that people actually knew that we were working in that office, because they could hear us. Mm-hmm. And eventually, like I think many people with that game, it grows on you, and you get better at it. You start to have more fun, and you begin to realize just how much depth is in that game, and how much there is to explore, how much there is to learn, and how rewarding it all is when you get through that part that you've been stuck at for so long. And yeah, I think Dark Souls is it's definitely one of the top 3 best games.
Mitch, you have spent like 5 minutes talking about how this might be one of your top 3.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I think you got to admit that it's your favorite game. It's got to be your favorite game, because if I have to listen to that long of a monologue about your other 2 maybe favorites, then I get at least another minute to talk about what a great game Pain is, because I don't think you understand.
Well, I mean, the second game is Splunky, and the only reason why I would feel bad about putting Splunky as the best game of this generation is that it kind of has its roots as a free PC game that has been out for quite a while. I don't even know if it predates the console generation. But Splunky on the Xbox Live Arcade, and the one that eventually got ported to everything else, that game I still have just as much fun playing that game now as I did when I first started playing it. Which is not something I can really say about Dark Souls, because the thing about Spelunky that's so amazing is that every time you play it, it's a different experience. You know, the levels are completely procedurally generated. The items that you get will be different, which makes it a completely different run through each time you play, and the enemy placements are random. So, that's the reason why Spelunky is in such high regard for me, because I can still play Spelunky today, and I can still have just as much fun now as I did, you know, when it first came out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what about? First of all, there are a couple things. Spelunky is a great game. I've played it. Never made it past third level. But I feel like that game could have been created on even the two previous channels. Like Super Nintendo could have done that.
Really?
Right?
I don't know. About
I mean,
Super
I don't
Nintendo.
know. It might have been slightly less graphical, but I'll tell you what Super Nintendo couldn't handle is the physics of pain, breaking pieces apart, matching combos, chasing high scores, extreme adrenaline. That couldn't be found until this generation. Mitch, what's your third favorite game?
Well, let's go. I've been talking a lot, James. Let's hear from you. What did you like about your second and third favorite games? Let's hear about what's your third favorite game?
Well, I would actually say it's hard to it's difficult, because I kind of put Dark Souls. I feel like I can easily say Pain is number one, easily, hands down. It's super sophisticated and unique, but I have a hard time differentiating Skyrim and Fallout. I feel like both of those are my favorite game. And it's just because of that style. Like, that style was, I think, solidified on this generation, where you could really feel like, and it was said recently in one of our campfire things, but you're in a world where instead of walking into a town and everybody's there waiting for you, and waiting to talk to you. In Skyrim and in Fallout, it feels like this world is there with you or without you. It doesn't care if you turn off your console and never come back, because they are going to keep going without you. So I like that. I would say that is something I like about Skyrim and Fallout that would put it above Dark Souls, because I can play it over and over and over and enjoy a different world that I've never seen or affected it that way. Dark Souls, on the other hand, is fun because I really like the combat and I like the challenge, and I feel like instead of every time I play the game, I get a different story where I get from Fallout and Skyrim, but every time I play Dark Souls, I get the same story, but I understand it a little bit more. So it's not that each gameplay is different, it's just that I understand it each time differently, more thoroughly, because of the load screens, because of talking to different people in the world. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, it's a good.
It makes a hell of a lot more sense than your Spelunky BS.
You talk about understanding the story of Dark Souls. I wonder, James, if we could have someone test you on your understanding of the Dark Souls lore, how well would you do?
I bet you I could be the judge of your knowledge of Dark Souls lore. In fact, we should figure out how to do this, where we have a 1 versus 1 Dark Souls lore trivia contest.
A GameFront gauntlet for Dark Souls trivia.
Yeah, Dark Souls trivia, but we would need to have an authoritative figure, an authoritative voice on it.
There's always Ben Richardson.
All right. We'll have to develop that. That's a good idea, Mitch, because I would love nothing more than to show you how much more I know than you.
You probably do. I would be surprised. I would like to see this competition play out.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
So while you were giving your whole spiel about Dark Souls, I was thinking about my third favorite game.
Whoa.
Your spiel.
Okay, fine. I did talk about it. For a second, I was like, I didn't talk about Dark Souls, but I did.
Do you have amnesia or short-term memory loss?
Yeah, real severe. But it's okay. Go on.
I would say my third favorite game of the generation would probably be BioShock 1. And I think that because, here's the thing. Call of Duty 4 was a great game. But I kind of hate the era that it ushered in for shooters. This stop and pop era of regenerating health and just corridor after corridor after corridor, stop and pop out of cover, whack-a-mole style gunplay. And anytime a game breaks from that mold, I take notice. And BioShock was a game that not only did that, but also wrapped up this really amazing story in this fantastical place of Rapture. And it really grabbed me like no other game this generation had. Obviously, I also had that same experience with BioShock Infinite, but it wasn't to the same degree as BioShock 1, because that was really the first time. And I really liked pretty much everything about BioShock 1 except for the ending. The ending was kind of dumb.
I'm still trying to beat that game, so don't spoil it.
Don't worry.
I wouldn't remember anyway.
Yeah, I should test you on BioShock lore.
Ugh.
So yeah, I mean that's kind of my thing. I really liked BioShock, pretty much everything about it. I like the addition of plasmids in the combat. I liked what they added to the strategy of gunplay, and even though it sometimes scared the shit out of me, I love that game. So yeah, there are my three.
Yeah.
If I had, all right, fine. You want me to rank them? Here we go. We'll go.
All right, thank you.
Splunky, Dark Souls, BioShock. I'm sorry. I'm gonna give it to Splunky.
Wow.
I'm gonna give it to Splunky.
Wow, that's a brave move, Mitch.
Yeah.
That's a brave move. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
you
will
probably
have-
apologize. I got people. I got Facebook pings going on, so it's not your Facebook. It's mine. I should have turned off the window.
Okay, that's nice of you to let people know now.
Yeah,
So, Mitch, tomorrow you're picking up the PlayStation 4.
I'm getting the PlayStation 4. And
What is the first?
Tomorrow you're getting a PlayStation 4 as well.
Yeah. What is the first thing you're going to do with your PlayStation 4?
I guess I would plug it in to the TV and into the wall.
Take it out of the box.
Yeah, I guess.
If you're going to be snarky like that and say you're going to plug it into the wall, then bring it all the way. How about retrieve it from the store? Put it in your car. Those are the first things.
Yes.
But I mean, once it's all set up, what's game number one?
Game number one is also honestly probably going to be Resogun, because I'm reviewing it and I haven't played it yet. I'm also reviewing Contrast, which I've been playing on the PC right now. And yeah. It's gonna be Resogun.
Yeah, I really look forward to that game because I'm a huge fan of Super Stardust.
Yeah.
And it is not the same, but it kind of is. You're scrolling around, it seems, in this endless loop of that, right?
Right.
And that's kind of how Super Stardust was, except you could also go 360 up and down.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Are you excited for Killzone?
I am. I mean, I'm a huge Killzone fan, except for it's hard for me to say that because I never actually beat Killzone 3. I don't know what happened. I got it, and then I think I started working at GameFront, and I just never got through it.
Yeah, I've never really played through a Killzone game. I've only played through like the demo.
I played through 1 and 2, and the story's great. The world's awesome. To me, it felt original. I may feel differently because I didn't play 3. So I don't know. Everything starts to feel like a copy of a copy eventually. Mm-hmm. But we'll see.
Yeah, and I was excited for Knack until I read some of the reviews, which have not been too kind to it.
It's hard to... Yeah, I don't know. I feel like those reviews... I haven't read them yet, but I feel like... It's hard to believe that these reviews are already coming out and we don't even have a goddamn system.
What the fuck?
I know.
All right. Well, that's. I think that's the GameFront update tonight.
Yeah.
James, you have to head out, don't you?
Yeah, I got to coach some improv tonight. I'm gonna be performing in Vegas.
Ooh.
At the Las Vegas Improv Festival, December 6th or 7th. I don't know. I got to be there for those days. It's a Friday and Saturday. If you're in Vegas, you can probably catch some Bear Supply.
When are you going to be performing at the MGM Grand?
I don't know. I don't even know where I'm performing in Vegas. We just got booked for it today.
Well, congratulations on that. That seems pretty
Thank you.
awesome.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that's the GameFront update for this week. Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like,
Comment,
and subscribe.
and subscribe. Bye-bye.